It is my honor to introduce our guest artist for today. She is one of those people that is so good, she goes by only one name, Berdell. She's just like Beyonce in Pink. And Cher, don't forget her. And a few others. She's right in there among them. I took a beginning watercolor class from here in January. Now, I've been doing watercolor for a while, but I've never taken a beginning class, and did I learn a bunch from her. Now, John tells me that he's taught her everything she knows, but I have a feeling that she might just surprise him today about a few things that she knows. Berdell lives in Portland area. She's out close to the Damascus area and has been painting with watercolors for 35 years. She is the most fearless artist I know. In class, we'd ask her a question, and if she didn't know the answer, she'd say, I don't know, let's try it. And she'd pick up her brush and we'd find out what was going on. And I think she was emulating what we should be doing. You know, if we want to know whether we can do it or not, just do it and see. She's so fearless. Her animal paintings have won awards for their ability to express a living essence. She also works in multimedia, acrylics, collage, paint pouring, jewelry making, and her newest love is polymer clay. She has graduated studies in sociology and anthropology at UNLV and received a ministry license in 1992. So if you have anybody that needs to get married.
Or divorced.
She loves teaching and encouraging others to fulfill their potential. Berdell has mastery of such a treasure trove of techniques. Today, she's going to share 3 with you. Distinctly different topics. First, the difference between alcohol ink, watercolor, and acrylic paints, and how they work together. Then she's going to answer questions about where, why, and how to sign your artwork. And finally, she's going to give us an introduction to jelly plate. Berdell.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, great. I'm going to mix up the format a little bit. I'm going to talk about signatures first. I taught that in my watercolor class because I find that signatures are so important. And they're important because not only for your sake, but the sake for people who get to know who you are. And I find that people usually just do it a little bit like this. And what I encourage people to do is to double that, to triple that size. Okay, get out of your comfort zone with signing your artwork. Make it big. Make it big. Make it tough. Make it, this is mine. And I know that for some of us, it's like we just, we want to just go small. And what I want you to do is think about where you put your signature also. So important. And what's important and how that is determined is you look at your piece of art and you say to yourself, what feels good? What feels right? And that's where you put it. Not, well, my teacher over here told me to put it on the left side. Nah, if you want, put it on your branch, put it on your tree, put it on your foot. Do something different. And that gets people's attention, believe it or not, because they see your signature as something powerful. You have any questions yet? Okay. That's basically it. Yes, please.
You just put your initials.
Oh, that's great. Now, when you put your initials, make sure you put them big. Don't put them like weenie weenie. Put them big. Show them who you are. I know that's out of the norm, but I know, having sold hundreds of thousands of paint in my lifetime, because I'm 71 years old and I started painting when I was like in my 30s, is that I started just putting, Berdell. And somebody said to me, what kind of signature is that? Pipe up a little bit. Show us who you are. Even John Halveston, who was my teacher, taught me to make it big. Yes,
What I found was interesting too, you had said that you can even sign it, like if it's a dark background, how do you sign your, you can even do it with wax paper. That just blew my mind.
do you understand that about wax paper? What you do is you put piece of wax paper on your black background, and you use the wax paper as your signature. So try that. Think about that when you go home. Get wax paper and put it on black background and sign it and see what happens. You'll be really surprised. I mean, who knew? Who would think that wax paper would make your signature so powerful? But it does.
It shows up.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Another thing that I
Yeah,
learned
it
too.
does. Try it.
Another thing that I learned is like I used to try to hide mine somewhere so people wouldn't,
Oh,
you know.
yes, I
But
love
now
the
after
hiding.
your class, I've completely changed it. I'm now doing, you know, a kind of a stylistic initials on mine, and it's, you know, it's big now. I mean, I'm not. And it does. I like it so much better than that little tiny.
But you know what?
thing.
It's interesting when I suggested to the class to do that, to make your signature 2 or 3 times. I didn't get a good reception. It was like, there she is talking again, blah blah blah. And the people that took me seriously went home and took their signature and started practicing it big. Do it big. Just do it big. Yeah.
So, I always sign in red, and I always drag my S at the end of the name.
I love it.
So it's MOUTOS, and the S comes way down.
That's it. You got it. You got it. Don't change it if it's working for you.
Well,
It sounds like it is.
I always do it that way.
That is so terrific. Yes.
Is it okay to use permanent markers and Sharpies, that kind of thing?
Yes. Yes. I think we get into this box where we should, well, get a pencil, you know, use this to do your name. Nah, get a Sharpie, get one of those other little
Technical pen.
thank you. Exactly. I think that's great.
Technical pen?
Yeah. Yes.
Practice on your palette. When you're at the end of your painting, before you sign it, practice on your palette.
Practice. I want everyone to just think about when you go home today and you think, Berdell was talking about the signatures. I don't know about that. But you know what? I'm going to try it out, especially with the wax paper. And do that, because there's no right or wrong with signature. And doing it with magic marker. I've sold many paintings with a magic marker because I wanted it to be big. And I use my B is like a clef, a musical clef. And it just seems to work really well. Okay, great. We'll go on to the difference between watercolor and acrylic and alcohol ink. Everybody know what alcohol ink is? These are little bottles, little vials of alcohol ink. And they're permanent, so be careful. You don't want, did you find it out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and what they do is if you put it on white paper, which is usually called UPO paper, YUPRO, that it just is magical, and you're going to be seeing that in the next couple of minutes. So let's do,
So is that any white paper is UPRO, or UPRO is a brand?
it's a brand of paper. And this is it. It's very slick. Okay, unlike, this is 300-pound arches, and I'm going to put just a small amount of, this is watercolor on here. Now, what do we know about watercolors?
Translucent.
You know, you're wonderful.
She's a teacher. She's a teacher.
You're a teacher, yeah. So anyway, here is your watercolor, okay? There's your watercolor. See watercolor? Now that could be a mountain or something, couldn't it? But look how just beautiful, it's just translucent. It's, one of the things that I encourage people to do is when they're doing their watercolors is to use the white of the paper. That's why I never buy white. Okay, so there we have it right there.
Did you put it in the water before you put it in there?
Uh-huh.
You did?
Yeah, I put it in water. here.
Initially?
Yes.
Well, I put the paint, and then I just dabbed it with water.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, so let's just turn it upside down. Yeah, I took here some water. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing that I teach is that one of the things is just to let your paper do the talking, let the water do the talking. Okay, so that's watercolor. And it's transparent, which means that you can see through the color. Okay? Okay,
That's another thing I learned was take your toilet paper or a towel and just have that there that you blot on.
Yes, I used to do that. I'm trying to get away with it because somebody suggested to me that I used too much toilet paper. Okay, so this is acrylic, okay? And I'm going to, and usually acrylic is opaque, but you can also make it, but it doesn't flow as much. What's that?
That's pretty.
Yeah, it doesn't flow as much, but it flows. It has a lot of qualities of watercolor. Okay, and a lot of people use their acrylics for watercolors. Did you have a question?
This is the acrylic on UPO paper with
No,
water?
we're not at UPO paper.
Oh,
UPO
okay.
paper is for alcohol ink only.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So do you see how it's opaque?
Yeah.
Opaque meaning you can't see through it. And a lot of people use this. You can see somewhat through it, but not as much as watercolor. Watercolor just flows with the water. It just brings it to life. And here you use other colors to bring this to life. Okay? And for those people who are acrylic painters, they know what I mean. Yeah.
Will acrylic last as long as a watercolor if you use it as a watercolor? Without fading and stuff like that, or curling off or anything?
You know, yeah, yes.
Yeah, so
Go for it.
you could, there are sealers for it, Jerry. There are sealers for various paints and pigments. So just like there's like a sealer for oil, you varnish and seal your work, there
And
are
that-
things like that too, for every type of pigment.
To protect it.
To protect, yes, and if you're gonna put something like a watercolor, you might wanna put it under glass too. That will protect it from the light coming through the windows, and so there's a lot of different things.
So this is watercolor and this is
I
acrylic.
do have one question, let's compare the two watercolor and the acrylics. Some are more light sensitive than the other, which of the two
Yes.
would be the one you would keep more in the shadows, so it doesn't fade out?
Well, I think watercolor
Watercolor would be
has a tendency to fade out if it's in
Okay.
direct light,
Okay,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I wouldn't put your paintings in direct light.
well, no, I wouldn't either, but there are
Yeah.
some people I
But
try to
you,
explain
sometimes
that
you
to.
can't help it because you have a lot of light in your home,
Yeah.
so,
And I think that's a couple things you can do, protect it with glass,
yes.
with your watercolor and your acrylic, and, not making sure it's not against sunlight of any sort, which I think.
Or
you-
heating elements from the floor, you
Yeah.
guys, if you have heat coming directly up, you don't want to put your paintings dries, so there's lots of,
Yeah, there's a lot of, yes,
Nowhere near your fireplace?
no,
not if you wanna keep it.
is he, are you the class clown? Okay, we've done watercolor, we've done acrylic, and now we're doing alcohol ink. And I have to be careful because if, I have to make sure that it doesn't run off the paper and get it all over the table, but that might happen. So the first thing I'm gonna do,
Yeah,
What's-
don't get it on that table, it's not ours.
yeah, well, that's why I will,
Do you have a
will.
garbage bag?
Maybe a paper plate or something?
No, I'll do it right here. So I'm gonna put a couple drops of blue. Okay, so here's some blue. Okay, then I'm gonna put a little bit of, now if you put this on regular Arches paper or watercolor paper, it'll be just a blob. It won't do anything. But look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. And then so I have this is a magical kind of thing that you put on, and it oh my God, you should see what happens. It's a artificial. But you see how it's a different kind of animal. Isn't that just great? Now, I could probably just frame this, and it could be just.
What did you put on there just now?
It is, and I don't have my glasses. You're gonna have to read this for me because,
I don't have my glasses.
well, what a fine mess we're in. So look at that, how beautiful that is.
How'd you get the circles in there?
By this drop, the drop of, what's it called?
It just says alcohol ink. Maybe rubbing
Yes.
alcohol would work.
What do you thin that, the alcohol one with? Alcohol or what?
What do you thin it with?
The ink one?
It would be alcohol you would thin it with, but you don't really want to thin your alcohol ink.
Rainbow.
Rainbow, it does a rainbow. Look at that.
It says rainbow.
So it's transparent. It's magical. I love alcohol ink. It just let's do another one.
It's like
Okay?
it dries so fast.
It does. That does dry fast. So let's do green. And you put in drops. And a lot of times you can take a straw and blow it, and it'll do wonderful things. You can do it with watercolors too. Yes, and that's a similarity. Okay, here we go. I have to watch it because I don't want to. So do you see how it's got the same qualities of watercolor?
That's so cool.
Okay. I'm trying my best not to get it on anything because it stains so bad. I mean, it stains your hands. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Did I get it? Yeah. Now this is Yupo paper, and Yupo paper you can
Dripping.
put this around. It's just it's got really shine to it.
Do you have to order that paper or can you buy it?
Yupo paper, you have to order it. I got it on Amazon.com. Most of these alcohol ink you can get at Michael's. Who here has used alcohol ink? So you understand.
Well, I was gonna say, at Michael's, they have alcohol ink paper that's completely different than this, and I've been using that. It comes in little packets.
Yeah.
It's more stiff. but
Yes.
It does a very nice
Yes.
blend like that.
So look at how beautiful that is. So can you see the difference between, you have your watercolor here, you have your acrylic here, and then you have your wonderful, magical alcohol ink. You can tell which one I like the best. Yes.
I assume that the ink is flammable?
Might be alcohol ink. I wouldn't get it near any heat guns.
You can't smell it while you're painting.
Yeah, I mean, and smoking, if you're smoking, I'd be a little careful because it's called alcohol ink, which means alcohol, and alcohol is flammable. So that's a real good question. Okay. Okay, how am I doing with time?
Doing just fine.
Okay. So,
That's because we have to have the window.
so there's my Yupo paper.
Is it expensive?
You know, it's not cheap. I think I got a
At least two.
whole thing of Yupo paper for maybe $10, 25 sheets. Is that, I don't know if that, is that expensive to you?
No.
But I just have so many, I love alcohol ink, that I have gotten so many varieties. And if anybody wants to come and play with the Yupo paint, that would be no problem.
Could you spell?
Let's put something
It's-
under that side.
YUPERO. Upro.
Berdell, let's put something underneath that side so it doesn't get on the paper, on the, yeah, there we go.
It does come off with alcohol.
This is special.
Okay, now, the pièce de résistance, jelly plate.
Yay.
Yay! I'm telling you, I love jelly plate. And jelly plate is just a plain, it's a jelly plate. It's actually glycerin.
I think this.
This is it, right here. That's it, right here. Isn't that kind of funny? That's it. That's it. This is it. And they used to use this for model printing. And then eventually the jelly art world got a hold of it and did their jelly prints. And what I've done is, these are all the, oh God, I have so much. These are all the jelly plate, what I've done so far. And what you can do with this is you can make a collage with it, or you can cover a present with this. Look at this one, look at this. We'll be doing this today.
Just a minute, let me look at that.
And this. Who here has heard of jelly plate? You have, yeah. Yeah, good.
I've never done it.
You've never done it, but you've heard of it.
Yeah,
Well, maybe after this you'll start doing it.
I want to.
Well, it's really very easy. All you need is a jelly plate. I'm going to use this, the jelly plate. And you can see I've used this quite a lot. And you need a brayer, which is a roller, okay? And you can have a small roller or a big roller, it doesn't matter. And you need acrylic paint, and you need some kind of texture, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do blue, and less is more. You don't put a lot on here. Put some on here. We'll try something other than that. You know, when you're at home, all of these work, right? And when you get somewhere, it's like, okay. Put a little more, and this is all acrylic, and this is really cheap paint. It's not expensive paint. It's these Crackle Barrel. Are you familiar with the Crackle Barrel paint?
Craft paint,
What?
craft paint.
Yeah, that too. Cheap. Nothing big. The cheaper, the better. Go figure, huh? Oh, I'm gonna put maybe a little bit of, okay, there you go. Okay, so, and what you wanna do is you wanna brayer it so it gets on the jelly plate, okay? There we go. Then you put it, so here it is, right here. Okay, and then I'm going to, let me see what I should do. We'll do a little bit of texture. Okay. So I textured that.
What's that, the purple thing?
What's that?
The purple grater.
Oh, these are just little texture things.
Oh, you can buy this?
Probably
Yeah.
something can make frosting on a cake.
You know, I have to tell you, I got these at Temu. Sorry. Timu. And then what I'm gonna do is, I have some rice paper here. And I'm gonna use rice paper. And rice paper here is just very thin. Very thin. And I'm gonna put it on here like this. And then I'm going to massage it so all the paint gets on the piece of paper. Okay, there we go. And then voila.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So can you see what you could do with jelly plate? Okay,
Do
now,
they sell it?
what's that?
Do they sell it at the regular stores?
They sell the rice paper. I got it on Amazon.com.
How about the jelly plate?
Jelly plates, you know, I have to tell you, jelly plate is not cheap.
Oh.
It's
I
not.
have one, you can try it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we have a shadow here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put white on top of this, or it's actually light blue, because I want to take this off, but I don't want to just take it off and wipe it off. I want to take it off via doing another one. It's called shadow or ghost. Okay, so here we go.
You can't just wash it off with water?
I could, but I didn't want to. I want to see what kind of effect I have. Yeah, you can, yeah, definitely wipe it off. Okay, here we go.
Have you used something other than rice paper
Oh, yeah, I
or
use
just
ordinary
rice paper?
paper.
Okay.
But I love rice paper because it gives you such texture and fineness and
The impression is much more visible.
pardon
The
me?
impression is much more visible.
Yes. So here we are. There's
Oh, wow.
the next one. And that's the shadow one. So do I like this? But look how the same thing was created by the same texture.
It looks like under the sea.
It does, doesn't it? Okay, what's next? How about pink?
Yeah.
Pink Barbie pink. Okay, we'll put it, again, this is all,
Barbie only won one award at the Oscars.
what's that? It didn't?
Barbie, the movie, only won one.
One. Oppenheimer, I think, won the most.
No, it only had one award.
Well, they've won a lot of other ones, so.
That's great.
Why is cheap paint better?
Why?
Like
That's
the
a
same
great
stuff.
question. This is the second question you've asked me, and I think they're both great questions. Why does cheap paint,
Does it have less pigment and it's more movable?
you know, I don't know. I'm really honest.
It's just because it's cheaper.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've used cheap paint, and I've used,
Well, golden's not cheap.
no, golden is not, but I mix them around. I'm gonna put a little bit of warm gold in this. So, but I think it's so exciting. Okay, so here we go. Now, if you think you have too much paint, I put it on here. And isn't that beautiful in itself?
Looks like a map.
I'm telling you, I am not privy to anything that I'm doing today, because you can do the same thing. Okay. Okay, what do you want, what kind of texture do you want here? Okay, let's see. Okay, you know, have you heard of these stencils here? Stencils? I'm gonna use that. press it down a little bit. And you press it down a little bit here. And there's so many other things that you can use. You can use foam paper, you can use bubble wrap. Look at that, and even this is beautiful. And then let me see, we'll try this too. This is kind of funky. Did I say it right? Okay, let's see what happens here. And you know what's beautiful about this? I never know what it's gonna be, whether I'm gonna like it or not. And
And what do you do with the end product?
what do you do with the end
You
product? You
frame
can do a
it, or-
collage, or you can do wrapping paper, or you can do you can put it part of your a tree, or
Greeting cards.
Greeting
design over
cards.
the top of it, but
what's that?
create a design over the top.
Oh yes, that's another thing I'm gonna show. I wanna make sure. Look how beautiful that is. It does, doesn't it? Okay. So the other thing that you can do, oh no. Oh, I got blue on the table. Okay, now I'm gonna wipe it off because I'm done showing you with, because of time, I'm gonna show you what I do to make these come alive. So we have a couple of these, and what I'm gonna do is I have these handy dandy little stencils. So this is a just an ink pad, okay? And this is my design, okay? And
Could
so
you
I'm
move
going to
the
put
box
this.
just a little?
Sorry.
Could you just move that box just a little so we can see what you're doing? There you go.
Yes. Okay, so here we go.
Oh, boy.
There you go. Isn't that pretty? So simple. And once you get to understand just using jelly plate and then using these, what do you call these?
Blockers?
Block stencils.
Stamps.
Stamps, block stamps. I mean, you can just go to town. You can take your watercolors, you can take your acrylics, you can take just about anything you want and make a beautiful mark. So there you go. So that's why I all of these right here,
Fresh water.
oh, thank you.
Here, got it?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Like this was a stamp. And I have the stamp up here, I just wanted to show it to you. But can you just, you take a jelly plate, you put paint on it, really simple. Put a piece of paper over it, and then you do whatever you want with it. Put texture or something like that. Yes,
Have you tried sealing those before?
sealing?
Yeah, or varnishing or anything like that?
No, I haven't. I haven't gotten to that part. I think that's a good question. Yeah.
Maybe Mod Podge?
Mod Podge would work great. And here's another one.
You could also get the stationery, you can buy stationery that's not printed on and you just create your own little cards and.
Yeah.
Yes. You create your greeting cards. How wonderfully simple is this? And I mean, can you see getting something like this as a greeting card? Just in the front of it,
Yeah.
cutting it out and using it as a greeting card or as a collage or something like that. Isn't that just incredible? So anyway, let me recap. We've gone over your signatures, and you guys are going to go home and practice your signatures. And then we did watercolors, which I love, but I'm in love with alcohol ink now. And this is acrylic. And then these are wonderfully, and you know what? One of the things is they dry really fast. So be careful.
Yeah.
And they're very staining, you know. And if you need to get them off your hands, the color, you just use alcohol ink.
So once they're dry, they're pretty much permanent.
Oh, yeah.
Permanent.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then I taught you how to do this jelly plate. This is the shadow of this. And so many, you can do so many other different ways you can do that. And so I've gotten a couple more of these. Just, if you look at this, it's just so beautiful. Just look how simple that is. That's a shadow one.
Can
And
you
then-
pass some of those around?
Oh my God. How small are they? Thank you. What a great suggestion. Okay, and look at that. Is this just awesome?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to take one.
It's
I'll
yours.
fight you for it.
It's yours.